So yesterday we have gone through all these 6 steps. But what we'll do is that we'll do a quick recap, and then we'll do the and you increase the volume. Yeah. So we'll just go with the first step. The first step is, you can use any of the steps, but usually I go with this one, the payment methods in country. So this is the first step. So what we do is that we define different payment methods for each of the countries. For example, for my company code is in IN, that is in country IN. So I have to define the payment methods for country IN. So you can see there are multiple payment methods, 5, 6, A, B, C. You can see a lot many. So you also can use the same, or you can define a one. So what I did, I've defined one with J, because that was the only character which was available. But let us do one thing. Yeah, A B C D E F G H I J K is also there. So based on that, I've created it. So for each payment method, we specify whether it's for incoming or outgoing. Outgoing, because we are making payments to our vendors, so we usually select outgoing payments. Then we also specify whether it's a check or a bank transfer. So you can use J for check, and you can also create one more for the bank transfer, that is for the NFT or EFTs. You can create a similar one. Similarly, for a check also you can create. So what business, I've seen some cases where for check only, they'll have different payment methods called as urgent or normal check. So similarly, you can also create with a different one-digit character as the payment method, and you can specify whether it's for outgoing, for a check or EFT transfers. If you are using check, you can also try to ensure that, because you'll be mailing the checks to the vendors. So we can put a check that the street or the PO box should be maintained, and if it is not there, the system would throw an error message at the time of payment run, stating that the PO box details are not maintained, and it will not do the payment run. So we have to maintain the check. The address details in the vendor master data, and only we'll be able to do the payment run. This document ZP and ZV is nothing but when you are doing the, I mean, when I do manual payment, I was entering ZP as a document type, but here the system would automatically pick up the document types for the payment and also for the clearing. So you don't have to do any configuration steps. So from here, the system would pick up the document types for the clearing. So this is another important step. And payment medium. Then last step is the payment medium. In most of the cases, if we use the payment medium workbench. Payment medium workbench is nothing but, when we work with any external bank, they will give us a format. That this is the format that they want the files to be there. For example, if you work with Citibank, they will tell you that this is the format which is acceptable for us. And when we send a file, that form that that output that file should be in that specific format, and only then the bank will be able to upload and will be able to process the payments. So if you are using that, then you have to create with the help of an ABAPer, or with the help of or we have to sit our ABAPer, and we have to generate a DME tree. We will assign the DME tree here. In tomorrow's class, I will show you this DME tree for one of my clients, how that's been defined, and then you can also visualize it. So I will also show you the XML file which gets generated, and also show the configuration steps. What are the steps that we are seeing it. I will see it tomorrow in our class. So in most of the cases, we use the payment medium workbench. In ECC, we used to use this details, but this doesn't hold good in S4 HANA. So in going forward in S4, we'll be using this payment medium workbench. So in tomorrow's class, we'll see this. I will try to show you the payment medium workbench. Since I have not created the DME tree, I'm just putting this as blank. And the only thing is that when I do the payment run, I will not be able to show you the output. but we'll able to see the clearing document. So tomorrow I will, when I'm showing in my live system, we'll see the configuration steps one more time. So these are the important steps that we specify in the payment. And these payment methods will be linking in our vendor master data, the BP master data. We'll also see that step. So the first step is define payment method in country. For each payment method, you specify the pay outgoing payment or incoming payment, the payment method classification, and the posting details. And also the last step is the DME, the payment medium format. I mean, what would be the output of that file when you do this payment run? So these are the basic things that we specify in in each of the payment methods. So this is our first payment method. This is the first step. The second step is pin method in company code. So whatever the payment method you define in country, we link it to our company code. So it's not necessary that all the payment methods which you're using that needs to be assigned to all the company code. So for few of the payment methods I'll be using for one company code. For few of the payment methods I might be using for a different company code. So whatever the payment methods are defined in country, I will try to assign the same in our company code also. So this is the second step. So payment methods in company codes. Click on this, give you a company code, click on this item. So this is for each payment method you specify the minimum amount or the maximum amount that you can pay. If you have I mean, if the business has some restrictions saying that for few of the payment methods they want to set some limits, and this is the place where you can come and set the limits. So the system would check for each of the payment methods when you are doing the payment whether that open invoices or that vendor falls within these two categories. If yes, then the system would able to automatically clear the payment, or else it will throw an error message. So the at the proposal level will show that this item could not be paid because this criteria is not getting fulfilled. So for each payment method, we specify the minimum amount and the maximum amount that you can pay with this specific payment method. Then we also have this important things, that's grouping of items. So payment per due date, if payment for per due date means that on that specific day, let me take an example. So ABC is the vendor, INV invoice number is INV 1000, due date is 10th of December. And we do. So we'll take this scenario. We'll try to understand what does this means. So if you select, if we will see, we'll go with this one, payment per due date. So it means that what system does it? If I select this checkbox, payment per due date, it will create one document for all these invoices, because I mean, there will be only there will be only one check for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10. For 10,000, the system would create one clearing document and one check for 10,000. That is because what we're telling the systems to sum up all the items per due date. I mean, based on the due date, I'm telling the system to sum up. So, for example, when I execute the payment run and all the invoices are due on 10th, on 10th when I execute the payment run, the system would create one check for all these invoices. That is for 10,000 there will be only one check. So if you select this option, payment per due date, so there will be only one clearing document, and for that clearing document, the system would generate a check for 10,000, because we're specifying that it has to do it. I mean, the system has to clear the open items based on the due date, and it will generate only one check for the whole item. So this is the importance of this payment per due date. But for some business, if they say that they want check one check per invoice, that is, for each invoice they want to have one clearing document and one check, then what we have to do, we have to select this option. In this case, it will not sum up, it will create one document per check. I mean, there will be 10 checks. I mean, on 10th of December we'll issue 4 checks for this vendor, and 5th of this on 20th of December we'll issue 3 checks for this vendor. If we select the single payment per item, it will create one clearing document, and it will create one check for each document. So if you use this option, single payment per mark item, but if you select payment per due date, it will club based on the due date. So in this case, it will create one check for 10,000 and one check for 5 6 6 plus 7 5 plus 6 11 11 plus 7 18. So for 18,000 it will create a one check. In most of the cases, we'll always use payment per due date. But when we are making any payment to any government vendors, we usually use this single payment per market item. So either so in so that is the importance of this. But if the business says that they want single payment per mark item, then we have to set. Then we can what we can do. We'll create one more payment method, and we'll use this single payment per mark item, and we'll assign this payment method in the vendor master data. So most of the cases either they will use this or this. So and and the importance of this, when we if you say that if you select this option, foreign business partners allowed, the system will also check the country of the business partners. If they even if it's outside, they will be able to make a payment. But if you uncheck this box and if the vendor is outside of the country, then we'll get an error message. Similarly for foreign countries also. So so if you uncheck or check based on this, what are the settings you maintain, the system would either throw an error message or it will process it. In most of the cases, uh, we usually fraud. I mean, what we do is that in tomorrow's class I'll show you. So what they did is that for local payments they have created one check, and for foreign business partners where you make a payment outside the country, they are defined few other payment methods like T. Uh, I'll just show in tomorrow's system. So in this case, this checkboxes are selected, but for the domestic payments, these checkboxes will be unchecked. So in that way, they are controlling it. So for same payment method, you'll find that one will be used for domestic and one will use for outside payments. We call that as a cross border. That is, which is not within the country, and when we are making a payment outside our country. So we call them as cross border payments. So we'll see that scenario. We'll see that system. We'll see that in tomorrow's class when I show in my client system. So these are the two things. Mostly the important things that we do configure in payment method is minimum amount and maximum amount, the single payment per mark item, whether you want to group or you want to use a single payment, and the foreign business partners allowed or not.
Sir,
This will have,
can you explain that extent part, sir?
yeah.
First four payments of 10,000,
Yeah.
and the
So
remaining payment.
so yeah, if you select this single payment per due date, if you select this option, we'll see also this in system today. When I do the payment run, we'll take the same example. So what it does is that based on this due date, it will sum up all the open items. That is for 1 2 3 plus 3 6 6 plus 4 10. So it will create one check, one clearing document for all this 10,000, and only one check will be issued to the vendor. So when the vendor receives a check, he will receive for 10,000, and based on in the payment advice, all these four invoice details will be mentioned. That is 1 2 3. These are the invoice details will be mentioned. But if I select this single payment per mark item, the vendor will get 1 2 3 4. He will get 4 checks, and each check will have only one invoice details. I mean, one check, second check, third check, and I mean, whether you want to issue individual checks for each vendor line item, select this checkbox. single payment. If you want to group based on the due dates, then you have to use this second option, payment per due date. In that case, based on the due date, we'll be issuing only one check, that is for 10,000 for all these four invoices. So it's left to the business. In most of the cases, it will always be payment per due date. Very rare cases you'll be seeing this payment per mark item. It's only for a it's only for usually used for government vendors. That is where they want to that where they don't uh, club the invoices, especially when you are paying the taxes. They don't club, and they will be issuing single checks. So it's left again to the business scenario, how they want to use it. So we'll see this both the scenarios in our testing part. When I do the end user, I will come and select this one, and later we'll select this single payment, and then you will be able to understand it, what actually I'm referring it. So this is the second step. We don't use medium format medium. The payment advice, I'll show you where we maintain the settings. So this is the second step. The third step is set up paying company codes. You can, I mean, this is the third step. All company codes. Come here, give your company code. Here you specify what is the sending company code and the paying company code. Uh, I mean, you can take an example of like this: sending company code and paying company code. So, for example, yes, you say that you can also create this scenario, or I'll try to do in my system. Then I will able to show you what is sending company code and paying company codes. So let us take an example. you have uh, you have three company codes: T001, T002, and T003. What we will do is that for whenever I want to make any payment from T002 or T03, I will say that T001 with the paying company code for T002 and T003. In that case, what I will do is that I will say that sending company code as T002 and my paying company code as T001. That is on behalf of this company code, on behalf of T002 and T03, T001 is making the payment. So in that case, the sending company code would be this respective company codes, and T001 is making payment on behalf of this company code. So T001 will become the paying company code. So I'll try to create one more company code, and then I'll try to see the settings. Only thing is that you'll have to create one more. We have to really create one more company code. You have to have the same chart of accounts. Everything would remain same, but there will be another two-step configurations. That is, we have to specify GL accounts. What GL account should be get picked up? Probably I will also cover that uh, in tomorrow's session. We'll see that. I'll try to create one more company code, and then we can see this paying company code. There's only one step, and there's only two additional configuration that we have to do. I will try to see that also. So just remember that what is paying company code is, if someone asks, you should there. If you can give an example saying that we have 3 or 4 company codes, and for the 2 or 3 company codes, T001, I mean, one of the company code is making payment. So sending company becomes the one who is sending, I mean, whose vendors we are paying, and T01 is nothing but the funds, everything is going from this company. So so this is called, so T01 is called as the paying company code, and T002 and T03 is called as the sending company codes. We'll try to see that scenario. I'll try to do the configuration. And tolerance days is, I mean, you can add additional tolerance days. For example, if the payments are due today, you can add 1 or 2 days of tolerance. Then the system would add those days also in the while computing the net due date. Mostly it is always blank. Nobody uses it. But if you want, you can add 1 day or 2 days of tolerance days, and then you can check. And the most important thing is special GL. So in my for special GL, I was using F-48 to make the payment, but using the using F100 F110, you can still use you can use same. You can also payment. You can also use F110 to make the special GL, the advance payments also. So here you have to specify the down payments, the special GL indicators through which you want to make a payment, and based on this setting, you can the system would be able to do the F110. I mean, you can pay it through F110 instead of using F-48 or F-58. So if you want to exclude, you will be specifying here, and if you want to include, you will be specifying here. So So this is the steps. We specify the sending and the paying company code. We specify the tolerance days. We specify the special gene indicators which can be paid and which can be excluded. So this is the importance of this step. Uh, I will say no. And fourth one is paying company code. So we specify some parameters like what is the minimum for this here here in this here you see we are not specifying any payment method. We are specifying and at the company code level what would be the minimum amount and what would be the maximum amount that we can that we can get it using the F110. So here we specify the minimum amount. In usually most of the cases they specify $1 or one rupee. That's it and nothing else. So we specify here the minimum amount and the maximum amount. Minimum amount for both incoming and outgoing payment. And here is the form that we specify, the payment advice. Payment advice is nothing but, for example, when I make a payment to the vendor for this 10,000 rupees, he should also understand why I am getting paid for 10,000. He might expect that these are the open invoices. So he want to understand. So we are telling to the vendor that this 10,000 belongs to invoice number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and not to 5, 6, 7. So when he sees this payment advice, which is emailed to him, to his accounts payable team or to the treasury team, so they will understand. Okay, we got this payment of 10,000, and this 10,000 belongs to these four invoices. The breakup of 10,000 is these four invoices, and then what they will do is that they will clear these four invoices in their system. So that is the importance of payment advice. So payment advice is nothing but it give you the breakup that I mean for what this amount pertains to. I mean initially they might receive a check for 10,000, but later on 21st of December they might receive another check for 18,000. So the what the payment advice will contain, the payment advice will contain the breakup of the invoice of the breakup of the amount. I mean the invoice details which have been paid for this using this check. So payment advices, we will have to again sit with an paper and we have to design this payment advice form. I will try to show this payment advice form for one of my vendors. I mean, once we do the payment, what would happen is that based on that, this form would generate a payment advice, and that form will be emailed to the vendor. So he will be informed that a check has been deducted. I mean, these are the few invoices that has been paid, and he can expect a check within few days. I mean, in the next 3 4 days, a check would be delivered to him. So that is so we'll be usually mail this payment advice to the vendors. So once you do the F110, based on the background settings, this form, whatever is the output of this form, this would be sent to that vendor, and then the vendor would when the vendor receives the check, he will able to understand what is the breakup of that amount, and he will clear those invoices in his system. So here we maintain the payment advice form. Usually it would be again, this will again a customization, because nobody will be using the standard SAP format. We have to sit with an ABAPer, we have to design that form, and then once that form is designed, we'll be linking up it here, and then whenever we execute it, this payment advice form gets generated, and based on the email address maintained, that email in the vendor master data, this form is sent to the vendors, and once they receive the checks, they'll be able to clear the open items in their system. Similarly, in case of EFT also, any payment advice is generated, so which will again sent to their respective accounts payable team or the AR team, accounts receivable team. They will be able to clear the respective invoices by using the payment advices. They will check the bank statement and also the advices which are sent, and based on that they'll be clearing those open items. So this is the place we specify the payment advice form. Again, we'll see this is tomorrow in one of my client system. What is, I mean, I'll show you the form also, how does it look like, and where they have linked it up, this form details. So since it is a standard, I mean, this is the idea system, this test system. I'm using this normal one, I mean the standard SCP format which they have given it. And just click on save. uh, so this is the fourth step. So we have done with payment method in country, payment method in country, payment method in company code, all company codes, paying company codes. These are the 4 steps. And before going to bank determination, we have to create our own house banks. So house bank is nothing but our banks from whom we'll be making the payments. So house banks are the banks which we use to make payments to the vendors. So you can have multiple house banks based on the business requirement. You'll be creating multiple house banks. So in my case, I've created a couple of house banks. So you have to come here, give a company code, click on house banks. So yesterday we created 2 house banks, one for city and one for SBI. So you can create multiple house banks as per your business requirement. Uh, if you click on this house bank, this is you specify where this house where your bank is located. So SBI is located in country IN. So bank key is nothing but it will tell you the branch details where this SBI account is located. If you can click on this change, it will tell you that this bank is located in Andhra Pradesh. This is the street, Hyderabad, and this is the MG Road branch. So this house bank gives you the branch details. I mean, where actually this is State Bank of India. Your house bank is located. So through bank key, we'll be able to know which is the where I mean what is your house bank and where it's actually located. And bank key is again a master data setting that we have to create in each and every system. So the first step is we create the bank key, then we link it up, and then under this house bank, you can have multiple bank accounts. For example, you can have one. For example, we usually have, for example, you might have an account with HDFC. That is your savings bank account. Apart from savings bank account, you might also have a locker account. But again, that would be a different account. You might also have a loan account. That might be one more account. You might be having a what you call a personal housing loan account. So within HDFC, you have 4 accounts. That is, one is your personal, that's your saving bank account. You have a locker account. You have a personal account, and you similarly have a housing loan account. So similarly, in case of companies also, under one house bank under SBI, they might have multiple accounts. One with currency USD, one with the INR, one with CNY, one with multiple currencies. So for each account, we'll be creating one account. For example, in this case, you can see in within SBI, we are maintaining 2 accounts. That is one for INR. If I click on this, so this account is maintained in SBI. We are maintaining one account in INR currency. On the same SBI bank, I'm maintaining one account in USD. So similarly, you can have multiple currencies. For example, if you are a global company and if you have payments to made across the globe, then you have multiple currencies with different with under the same bank. So based on the business requirement, you'll be creating different accounts under the same account, and this is how you'll be creating it. So you'll be specifying the currency. So this bank would be called up when I want to make any payments in USD, and this bank account, I mean this account would be called up when you want to make any payments to your local vendors. That is within India. Within India, if you want to make any payments to vendors, because the currency is INR, so this bank account would be called up. And if you want to make any payments to my US customers, then we'll go calling up the second one. So this bank account I'll be calling up to make the payments. So also you can see I've linked up some GL accounts. So let me first open this 100 300 this GL account. 100 300 GL account is nothing but my the main GL account, that is FSRT. You can see SBI main account, that is this is the main bank account which is maintained in USD. So if you want to maintain USD, you have to maintain the currency as USD, and the same details, everything would remain same. But yeah, you have to come here and you have to link up your house bank. You'll come, you can, so you have, so this is SBI. So I'm saying this is where SBI bank account, and under that SBI, you have 2 accounts, one with INR and one with ISD, USD. So I'm linking this with account ID USD. So this is how you'll be creating one GL account, and you'll be linking up here. So this is 100, 300. Similarly, for my INR account also, I've created one more 100, 200. If I go back here, it has the same house bank account. Account ID is different because this is INR. You can see I maintained this currency as INR and the description. So so I just linked up the GL account. That is, if I whenever any transaction hits to this main bank account, this would be reflected with this. And whenever we get a bank statement, we'll try to match this GL, that is the balance in this GL account, with our bank statements, because this is the main bank
Sir,
account. Huh?
we created two GL, sir.
Yes, you can see, right? You have to maintain. You have to, because this is INR. That is, I want to track my INR payments in a different GL, and my USD payments in a different GL. So if you have two bank accounts, I mean, when you open two accounts in with your banker, he will open two accounts, right? I mean, one for your INR currency and one for your USD currency. He will not club in one account, right? I mean, when
Yes,
you go
yes,
on,
I got
yeah. So
two
so
different accounts, two
similarly,
different GL.
yeah. So similarly, in here also, I want to track what are the transactions that are in USD. I want to hit this GL account, and whenever I'm making payment in another currency, that is INR currency, I want to track with this GL account. So similarly, you also, when you are making any savings, whenever doing the transactions, your salary account or savings account, you will call up that account and see the balance. Similarly, and when you want to see your loan account, you will call up that loan account and you will see it. So similarly, in our case also, I will call up this GL account if I want to see the transactions in INR, and I will call up the other GL account if I want to see the transactions in USD. And we'll never club this one, because you'll not be able to track which uh, uh, I mean from which GL account which payment has gone. So we always use different GL account per currency. We don't usually use the same GL account. And you can see also the currency is also differing. If I open 100, 200, this is INR. Let me say, but if I open the 100, 301, the currency is in USD. You can see. So this is the difference. We'll see this again in tomorrow's in my client. I will show you. You can see for one account there will be multiple things. Probably you might understand in better way. Uh, so so where were we? So what we did, we created the house banks, and we created a couple of house banks, and for each of the house banks we specified the GL account, and we did the mapping. And the next important thing is determination. The last step is bank determination. Bank determination is nothing but when you are doing the payment, how the system should understand whether it has to pick up your house bank as SBI or Citi or a different bank. So we specify here which house bank should be picked up when I'm doing the payments. So here we do the ranking. So how we specify to how we tell to the system, we tell it through ranking order. So you can see for each payment method, I'm specifying the ranking order. You can see the ranking order is 1. So whenever I'm making a payment method, whenever I'm making any payment with payment method J and currency is INR, then it will always pick up SBI. This is the account that will get picked up. House SBI will get picked up always. In case similarly, if I'm making any payment method with J and currency in USD, it will always, the SBI M will get picked up. That is, this account will get picked up. But if you have multiple house banks, then SBI will specify second, and in the second line you specify the same one, uh, payment method J, and you'll specify INR and USD, and you will specify a different currency. For example, I'll use payment method J again. I'll say the currency is INR, but I'll give the ranking order 2. I'll say Citibank and just click on save. 1 minute. Let me delete this. Now you'll understand. So whenever so what I'm telling system is that always when I'm making any payment, always house bank SBM should get picked up. But the second one, if I don't have funds, it will be then second option would be city. That is always city will get picked up. But if I don't have funds, I can what I will be telling to my system is that the second priority is city. But always go and do the payment from always from SBIM. So we will also see how we can do the city and I mean how we can change the house bank at the time of payment method. So I will also show you when we do this F110. So we'll see how we can change the city. I can show you. I can tell the system that you don't do payment from SBI, but do a payment from city. So I will when we do the end user setting, I will show you how we can do the changes. So this is the again important thing. So ranking order is nothing but I'm telling my system that always do in this option, that is always pick up SBIM as Citibank, sorry, as say SBI Bank. Whenever we do a whenever I do a payment, pin payment method J and the currency is INR. And similarly, here you can see multiple items. So multiple. So since I've only created two entries, you are saying two, but based on the business requirement, there you will be able to see a big list. When I show you tomorrow, you will be able to understand better. For same currency, you'll find multiple ranking orders, one, two, three. So since this is a test system, I want to show I just created two things, one and two. So second step is in this step only. Let me select one. So within this, I will specify the bank accounts. So here I am specifying that whenever I'm making my payment with this SBI PIN method and currency and account ID, this account ID should get called up. That is SBI account ID should get called up, and this is the sub account that should get hit. So remember that this is also an interview question. Whenever we do F110, so the first entry is that for vendor invoice, when I book my vendor invoice, the entry is expense account debit to vendor account. And next, when I do the F110, the entry is vendor should get debited because I'm paying him. So vendor account will get debited. Vendor account debit 1000 to a check issue, a check clearing, whatever you can say to clearing account 1000. And then when the next day, when I get my bank statement, when the vendor has cleared that when the vendor has deposited the check, it has cleared, then the entry would be my bank balance should go down. So So here we credit the check issue clearing account. Now the check issue clearing account will get debited to main bank account. So you can see here it's just a parking account. So initially it was credited, and when the bank statement come, when the check was cleared by the vendor, I mean when he deposited the check, and when our banker has cleared the check, so when we got the bank statement, we are just nullifying this entry here. It got credited, and this line got debited. So always remember, this is how the entries will always flow. We will never hit our main bank account directly here, because for two reasons. The first, when you issue checks, there's always a time lag. That is when the vendor has to receive the check, and he has to go and deposit it, and it will go for clearing. So there's always a time lag of at least 3-4 days. Even if in case of NEFT or RTGS or wire transfers, it is done instant and it is done instantly. But still, we always do the bank reconciliations. So once we get our bank statement the next day, based on whatever the, what are 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 clear it off based on the accident processing. But remember that we'll never hit our main bank account at the time of F110. So always hit this sub ledger clearing account. We call this as a, you can call it as a sub ledger account, or a parking account, or suspense account. So, and what are the GL you maintain it here? This, for example, you can see I maintained 100,210. I will just go here. I will open this GL. You can say check issue clearing for INR account, and similarly I've created one for a USD account. So based on your clearing account, I'll be linking it up. So always remember, this is the bank, this is the GL account that gets called up whenever I do the payment run. That is, and not this GL account. That is what I maintained at the time of house bank creation. The house bank creation GL account only comes at the time of bank statement. So, and not at the time of F110. Even in interview, they will ask you this question: why we are hitting this check issue account and not the main bank account? So you can always say that for a check. So you can give an example of check. You can always say that when we issue check to the vendors, the vendor has to receive the check, and it will take minimum 2 or 3 days for the vendor to deposit the check, and it has to go for clearing, and not only and then when it comes to our banker, then only the banker will be able to clear it. And all, there is always a time lag of at least 2 to 3 days. And if we hit our if we hit if we hit our main bank account, we're showing a different bank balance. I mean, we are reducing our bank balance even though the check has not been cleared. So always tell that we try to always park this check. We'll always try to hit to a clearing account or a suspense account, and once the check is cleared, we'll try to knock it off. So it's always remember this check issue account, or what are the account you're defining. We always create it as a open item management account. For example, when I see this account, hope 1440 check issue INR account, it's always maintained as an open item management, because for each item I want to track it out. So for example, you have issued 10 checks, so I want to track each 10 for each item, whether that item is cleared the bank statement at my bank end or not. So therefore, for especially for clearing accounts, we always maintain this open item management. So just remember that, and
Sir, how will we know the check has been cleared, sir?
uh, so what would happen is that, so how we'll know? You will get a bank statement, right? For example, I've issued a check of 1 2 3 years. Example, I have issued this to this vendor the check 1234, and next day the banker has cleared it. So he will also send us a bank statement saying that one of your vendor, he has this check has been cleared, and this is the 1,000 details. So in the bank statement, when what you get, it will also have the check details which have been cleared by our bankers. So it will show you the deposits which were done by our customers with invoice details. And similarly, if any payments are done, the bank statement will have the check number. Here you can see the check number we issued with this check. The check number was issued with this 1234. So we have issued also this check 1234 here. I will show you the check settings. So I'm not yet done that. This is end user part. So so
Okay.
we'll also create a check log. We call this as check log, as where we maintain the check number that is from 1299, and this is my check number lot, and this is the check number lot that will be issued at the time of F110. So when we see this check in our bank statement, we will understand, okay, this check has been, what are the check amount for 1,000, this has been cleared, and now I have to clear this check in my system also. I mean, this should get knocked off. So when we see our bank statement, you will be able to understand that this check, whatever we have issued to our vendor, he has submitted it, and our banker has cleared it. So all the deposits, I mean, similarly, whenever you sell your when you do any sales, we also specify that in our invoice that you can deposit this amount in our bank account. So once they deposit that amount in our bank account, how we'll know? We will know through invoice. That is, they also will send a payment, that is, this is the invoice which I paid, and you can expect the funds in next bank statements. So you'll be able to understand, okay, that customer has paid it, and now we have to clear those open air items. So based on this reference number, that is either my invoice number or based on the check number, I will try to clear my open item in BRS. So we have not covered that top. the bank statement when we bank statement. But just remember, based on the once the check is cleared, this banker will inform us through bank statement. So we'll in usually these big companies, you will get bank statements on a daily basis. So what are the transactions which we did today? At the end of the day tomorrow or early morning tomorrow, we'll get a bank statement. The payments and these are the receipts and these are the charges on your statement. And so it's not that once in a month we'll get bank statements and once in a day we'll get our bank statements, or it might be more than once in a day also. For every 4 hours you might get a bank statement also, but in most of the cases it will be once in a day. So what are the transactions you are done today? The next day morning you'll be receiving a bank statement. I mean, the banker would send you a bank statement automatically, and based on the system settings the system would read the bank statement and will automatically clear the open items. So will not go and clear it line item wise. The system will do on its own. So based on the configuration whatever we did. So so the clearing will happen at that time based on the bank statement. Until that check is not been cleared, it will stay in this check issue clearing account. The moment the banker clears this check, it will my main bank has to get reduced and this check account clearing account will get nullified. So just whenever someone asks you this, what are the entries that get generated at the time of F110, just try to explain the same entries and never tell that it will hit the main bank account, because if you tell the main bank account, they will ask you why. So I mean, they will ask you to explain why you want to hit the main bank account when the funds have been not actually debited from your account. So always it will always hit your clearing account or not your main bank account, and this is the place where you come and specify your clearing account. So here's the place you specify your clearing accounts. So that is first we specify the ranking order. Second we specify the sub accounts, bank sub accounts, which has to be hit during the F110. And now next is, where is this? Available amounts. Either you can just enhanced or available amounts. Uh, I mean, I will be using this available amounts, but the same settings will be there. If I click on here, uh, here we are trying to maintain based on the payment method again. And but if you don't want to make based on payment method, you can use this setting also. So either you can use the bank accounts or this setting. The only difference is that in the enhanced version you have this payment method, and here you don't have the payment method. So here is specifying that for my house bank, my account ID, what is the available amount. So we usually specify dummy amount. Always we specify 999. So it's only for telling the system that this is the funds which is available, and we'll always able to do the payment run. But this is only a dummy one. We'll never do reconciliation based on this amount. We'll always do the reconciliation based on our amount which has been which we through our bank statement. That is, when we get that bank statement, we'll try to reconcile the amount, what is shown in my bank statement, what is shown in my bank account, but not with this amount. This is just a dummy amount. So we are telling to system this is the amount that is available, and we can and this is the amount the system would check at the time of F110. So it's just a dummy amount. So you can we here in this step we maintain based on the combination of house bank account ID, which they are specifying the system that till 999. I mean whenever I mean for 999 days, this is the funds that is available with this currency and with this currency. So so just when I show you in tomorrow's in my client system, they also maintain as 999. So
Sir, I have
so
one doubt, sir.
yeah,
In bank account, the previous step, we need to create the clearing account, sir.
you have
This
to create.
100.
I've created this GL account, right? In my
Okay.
document, I will share. I will be sharing it. So this is the GL account I've created. So you can see check issue clearing account. So this account will be called up when I do the F110, and not this GL account. So this GL account will not be called up. This main bank account will not be called up, which is linked to your house bank. This is the GL account that will call up the check issue clearing account. So this check issue clearing is nothing but this cleaning account, check issue INR account. So probably when I show you the system, you'll be able to understand which GL account will get be called up. So this
Okay.
GL
Okay, sir.
account will get called up when you do the payment run. Next is available amounts, which we have maintained it, which is a dummy amount. Value date and expense charges, we usually nobody uses it. It's always left blank. It's of no relevant importance. So we are what we'll do is now we have done the payment method. I mean we have done the FBZP settings. So what we do is now what are the payment methods we have defined. We'll try to link it to our payment terms. For example, I have defined my payment method as J. What I do is that I go to my payment method. So payment methods, we have understood what are the different payment methods. So I will not go again back. So go to your payment methods, what you have defined, and link up this to your payment methods. So link for we what to do, what are the payment methods we have defined. We link up this to payment terms, and payment terms are already linked to my vendor master data. So based on the payment terms, the payment method will be called up. Just remember the logic. So based on the payment method, what are the payment methods are defined, I will be linking up to my payment terms. And since the payment terms are already linked to my vendor master data, based on that, system would be again would I mean would call up this payment method. So for example, if I go back to my BP business partner, 4200401 42001, click on this supply financial accounting. If you don't see the, okay, let me go to the change. If you don't see this the values, just come here, click on this icon, customize local options, visualization 1, show keys within drop down. Just select this, apply, and click on OK. Now you'll be able to see the values also. We were able to see the description, but now I'm able to see the values also. What was the previous values? I mean the initial values. So I have to select FLVN00, FLVN00. Go to my company code data. So here we maintain the payment terms. Here we maintain the payment methods. So what are the payment methods I've maintained? I mean, what are the payment methods I've defined? I'll be linking up to my vendor master data in my BP master data, and also I'll be linking it to my payment terms. So whenever I try to post an invoice based on the payment terms, the system will automatically default the payment method in my invoices. When I try to post invoices to this vendor, based on the payment terms, since the payment terms also link my payment methods, so whenever I try to post an invoice, by default the system would call up the payment, would by default will call up the payment method. So here we also have to specify the payment method, but we also have to link up to the payment terms also. The reason is that when I try to post an invoice based on the payment terms, system will automatically default the payment methods in the invoice. For example, in this case I've linked it. Let me show you an example. If I go to F-43 or FB60
Sir,
also,
sir, one minute, sir.
yeah,
Actually, you remember, sir, once I asked you to change in BP role, I was not able to see this FLVN00. I think
huh?
now you have used that step now, sir. Can you show me the screen layout you have changed now, sir?
No, I've not done. So what so initially it was like this. I'll just try to go you. I'll try to show it. This is click on this customize options. Click on this
Yeah,
options. Go to this
maybe.
visualization
Yeah.
and just where is this? Show keys in the drop down list.
Maybe this step I didn't know, sir. That's the reason I was not
Yeah,
able to that
okay. I think I've shown you. Acha, what I'll do, I will just uncheck this one. I'll apply. Click on OK. I'll go back again to my BP. That is not a configuration. It's just
Yeah, yes, sir. I think my system didn't add that, sir.
uh,
That's the reason I was not
yeah,
able
yeah,
to
yeah.
see.
So now you are not able to see there's a drop down details. So always
Yes.
when in your production system also, whenever you get access, always select this option. Click on this options. Go to visualize under interaction design. There's a visualization one. Select this
Mm-hmm.
checkbox. Show keys within drop down. Just click on
Okay.
apply. So it
Okay.
will
Okay,
it
sir.
will give you the it will give you the description also. It will give you the value here, which is giving only the description, but it will also show you the values. Now you're able to see this FLVN00.
Yes, yes, correct, sir. I got it, sir.
Yeah, and so what we did is we assign the payment method also in the vendor master data. We also link the payment methods to payment terms. The reason is that whenever I try to post an invoice based with the payment terms are defaulted. Similarly, system will default the payment terms G also. So now when I try to post an invoice, you can see what would happen if I go to F-43. I'll try to post one invoice to my vendor 09112021. GST press enter. So see, based on the payment terms, it has automatically defaulted the payment method. If I remove this payment method here, delete, control S. I have removed now. See, I've removed it from my payment terms. I'll just go back again. See, the payment terms are getting defaulted, but the payment method is not coming on its own. So always remember that we have to link the payment method to payment terms so that whenever I'm trying to post an invoice, the payment method is always defaulted in the invoice screen. So if you want to do that, you always have to link your payment methods to your payment terms. What are the payment method you define? You have to link it to your payment term. So I will just come back again and I will just link it up. Now I will go back again. Now you can see the payment based on the payment terms, it has come. But the business has an option to change the payment terms also and also the payment method because this is a change mode. But usually nobody does that change. But if we want, we can do the change. So what I'm doing, I'm just trying to post one invoice for 1040. GL account and company code. I'll remove the withholding tax so we can see. You can keep it, not an issue, but I want to see the amount that's getting processed correctly or not. Click on simulate and save. So I'll try to post few more invoices. Then we will try to do a parent and see what how the system does it. So when we do the payment run, we will not see what is the due date. We'll just go with the parameters, and if what are the invoices which are due within that parameter, only those invoices will be picked up by the system, and then system will automatically clear it off. It will not. We don't have to check what should be the total amount that I have to pay. You don't have to check anything. You just have to just execute your parameters. I'll try to post a couple more and then we'll see it. Post with reference 36. I will say we'll try. We'll see the FBL one in. FBL one in. We'll select the vendor, click on execute. Mm. See, most of them are not due, not due, not due only. We have around we'll see this. KR is the invoice type, so we'll see KR part. Um, we'll see when these invoices are getting due. Let me. So let us see when these invoices are getting due. Change layout. Um, so the net due date is on 31/12, 31/12. So you can see for these three invoices, if what I will do is that I will put the this invoices are getting due on 30/11. I mean 1, 2, 3. Just remember 14, 14, 15, and yeah, and 7,001. So these are the invoices which are getting due on 30th 11. So now I will do the payment run. So F110 run date. So run date is, so this is the end user transaction, that is this is the transaction that the business uses to do the payment run on daily basis. So it's not our transaction, it's the end user transaction. The run date is nothing but when you're trying to execute the payment run. So always the run date would be the current date. So today is 29th. So I'm saying 29 11 2021. Give any identification is nothing but a 4-digit character. You can give any just to identify this parent date. So usually the business been told to they'll give the company code number, and then they give one or two as the details, and then they do it. In our case, I'll use test one. First, click on parameters. Posting date is that we're telling that whatever the document that I get posted, it will be posted with the current date. So today is the 29th. So when I execute the payment run, what are the documents that are getting generated? They will be posted with this posting date 29/11. Documents entered up to, so it's asking system is this would be defaulted current date, but if you say that only documents entered up to, I mean if you give today just this date, I mean a previous date, only those documents which entered in that till that date will be considered. So usually it would be always current date, but they will ask you functionality, what is the purpose of this documents entered up to. So you can say that if I say 27th, only those documents which entered up to 27th, those only will be picked up for a parent, and not the ones from 28th to 29th. So that is the importance of that. But usually we don't do any changes to this, either the posting date or a document entered up to. So we usually don't do that. The first step is we give the company code. So my company code is 3001. Here we specify the payment methods. So if you have multiple payments like J, K, C, whatever the payment methods you are using, you can specify here. In our case, we are using J. So just specify the payment method J. Next posting date. So next posting is nothing but what we have to specify when you're doing the next payment run. For example, if I specify 1st of December, what system does it? It will check all the invoices which are due till 1st of December, all those invoices for this company code T001. It will pick up and it will execute the payment run. So next posting date is nothing but when you are trying to execute the payment. Today you are executing payment on 29. System is asking when when you will do the next payment run. So next payment run I'm doing on 1/12. So what system does is that all the invoices which are due till 1st of December, that invoices it will pick up and it will do the payment run. So it will check automatically. I'll just put this date. Usually what business does it, since they do it regularly, they usually specify the next day. For example, today I'm doing for 29, they'll say that 30th 11 as the next due date, so that all the invoices which are due till 30th, that will be picked up in this payment run. Here the vendors, if you specify the vendor, you can do it for a specific vendor. If I mean you can just put the vendor ID if you want to do for that specific vendor, or put a star. Star means it will pick up all the vendors in this company code for all the invoices, and then it will check It will pick based on the vendors you have specified here. It will go and check under this company code 207 with payment method J, and will try to see all. It will try to pick up all the invoices which are due on 1st of December. So we can, what we'll do, just put asterisk and we'll see what system does it. Free selection will try to explain you tomorrow. If you free selection is nothing but I want to do payment run for specific document only. For example, this vendor has these many invoices, but I want to do only one document payment, only this specific 28 documents. I will do one thing. I will come here. I will say document number and will give that specific document number. So the system will do only payment for that document number. Or if you want to exclude, you can select this exclude also. You can say that I want to exclude these few documents from the payment. You can come here. You can click on this exclude and give this document number. So in this case, I'm not doing that, but you can do it if you want. So that is the importance of this document number. I'm putting it blank. Select this due date checkbox, payment method in selection in all cases, and the line item for document numbers. Just click on parameters, click on stat, click on save, click on proposal. Proposal is nothing but based on the parameters that you've entered, system will try to find the invoices which are due. So it says proposal has been created. Click on this display proposal. So it has picked up only one vendor 41102 based on that parameter setting, and it has given red color, that is it has some exceptions. But why it has picked up the other vendor 41002, but why it didn't pick up 42001?
We didn't specify the vendor, no sir. So
No,
it's
asterisk
automatically
means
picked
no
up.
no 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 asterisk means it means everything would come. Just give me a minute.
Yes.
We don't specify the vendors, we always specify asterisk. Asterisk means it will pick up all the vendors. Just give me a minute. Go back, edit, proposal, delete. Just give me a minute. Why? I just want to check why this vendor not got picked up. 00401 4200
I think those are because they want it to.
No, we just to see some debit balance might be there. So we'll see whether what the reason was. Okay, it says that it doesn't appear it. 1 minute. Does it has any debit balance? No, it has a credit balance only. Mm, 4200401. Let me come back again. Go to edit proposal. You can delete multiple times the proposal, so not an issue. Give me a minute. Edit, delete parameters. Let me give one more time. Payment method J. Yes. Sorry. Same data. A proposal. Start immediately. And log for proposal. Made in run. Today is 29th only, right now. Log for proposal and test. Okay. Let me check. 14. Let me check what is the error that I'm getting. Based on that, I can fix it. Log for proposal one and BNS one. Usually the log will give us the error, but step log for what has happened? I was able to do till yesterday. Actually, I did it on where is this thing?
What is the error, sir? But we are getting the
No,
vendor. I'm not able to understand what is.
no, the error itself is not there, so that is the issue. If I click on proposal, so this is the log which will give us the error details. It says log for proposal and payment identification end of log. Probably that's what I'm not able to understand what happened. But I did. I mean, and yesterday I was able to do it without any issues. For example, I did it on 27th. So this was I did it on 27th. Same thing. I did it for payment method. Everything went well. I mean, for testing purpose, I did it whether it is working or not. I was able to post it, but now today I'm getting this error. Give me a minute. Slash MF 110. FB set me. Because I did it just a day back. I'm going to just check if any errors are coming or not. And give me a minute. Let me check one more time. If it is error also, it will tell us the error message. It's not that it will T07. Let me check quickly if any T01. There's nothing error in this paying company codes. We'll try to see in another 5 minutes. If it is not, then we'll check it out tomorrow. Not in this work also. Payment method in country. नहीं है payment bank determination. But our GLs, everything is there. Ranking all the INR, yes, SBM. Currencies are there. Available amounts, this is fine. Somebody did any changes, huh? Even if it is coming. 29. This 29 one, you know. They need give parameters payment method J. I think I will check that error. Probably have to check why. Usually it should work because yesterday I did the check and it worked, but today I'm getting an error. Let me check and then probably we'll see why it's not coming in tomorrow's class. I will also explain you the error why it didn't work. I mean it should work because we have the open invoices. We have open invoices and we don't have what you call. Uh, I mean we still have open invoices. We don't have a vendor debit balance. but I don't know why it's throwing an error. And also due, so we'll see it tomorrow. Probably I'll also check some missing configuration or someone has changed something. But it worked a couple of days back because when I executed on 27th, it worked well with the same company code. I was able to do it, but today I'm getting an error. Here also I didn't get any gave anything. It got generated, so it should get it should work for others also. But yeah, we'll see it tomorrow, and then I will try. Then we'll try to fix it out. I'll try to let you know what if some changes were done by someone and how I fixed it. So we'll stop here and then we'll continue from tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we'll see the
Okay,
same
sir. No.
settings, same thing in my system. We'll try to do one F10. Then I will try to share my client system, and then I will see the same 5 steps or 6 steps which we try to in our client system, and then we'll try to do a F110. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm?
Sir,
Okay then.
please
Yeah.
log out of this ID now, sir.
Yeah, I'm logging
Uh,
out of. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
don't need it. I uh, just for classes I will take your ID, but I
No,
will
no,
not
because
use
I
later.
if you
Ah, you
forget
have to practice. No, no,
practice.
yeah, that
Just,
that is true. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
no
yeah,
problem. Thank you.
yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.